Prince Salman's kids live in a 4 million square foot palace packed with gold-plated walls, $450 million art pieces, anti-missile Boeing 747s, and 500 million super yachts with submarine hangars. But for all that wealth, there's one thing about their lifestyle the public still struggles to believe, and that's where this story begins. Let's get into the details. Palaces beyond imagination. This is the Al Yamama Palace in Riyadh, the official seat of the Saudi royal court and the primary residence of the kingdom's most powerful family. And for 5 young children ranging in age from roughly 4 to 17 years old, this sprawling complex of buildings and gardens and courtyards and amenities is simply what they have always known as home. They have no other frame of reference, no memories of smaller spaces or more modest accommodations. This palace, with all its grandeur and excess, represents their baseline understanding of what a house is supposed to be. Built starting in 1983 and completed in 1988 under the reign of King Fahd, the palace contains over 1,000 individual rooms, each one designed and appointed with an attention to luxury and detail that most human beings will never witness firsthand in their entire lives. Italian marble floors stretch beneath the feet of anyone who walks these halls, polished to such a brilliant gleam that they catch and reflect the light from elaborate chandeliers hanging overhead, creating an atmosphere of radiance and opulence at every turn. Intricately carved ceiling and wall panels adorn virtually every significant space within the complex, representing craftsmanship of the very highest order, the kind of painstaking, meticulous work that takes master artisans years upon years to complete. Gold-plated fixtures appear throughout the residence, in bathrooms and doorways and decorative elements, serving as constant and unavoidable reminders that the family inhabiting these halls commands financial resources that exist beyond ordinary human comprehension. But the Al Yamama Palace is not merely a residence defined by its precious materials and staggering dimensions. It is a self-contained compound equipped with every conceivable amenity that vast wealth can possibly provide. A small city unto itself where virtually any desire can be fulfilled without ever stepping beyond the security perimeter. Multiple swimming pools dot the grounds, offering refreshment and recreation in the face of the intense desert heat that surrounds Riyadh for much of the year. A private cinema allows the family to screen whatever films they desire, from the latest Hollywood blockbusters to classic masterpieces, without ever setting foot outside their secure compound or mingling with ordinary members of the public. A bowling alley provides entertainment of a more active and social variety, with lanes available for use whenever the mood happens to strike, day or night. And a private mosque ensures that religious observances, central to life in the kingdom that serves as guardian of Islam's holiest sites, can be conducted with complete privacy, absolute security, and appropriate reverence. For the children of Mohammed bin Salman, Prince Mashawar, Prince Abdulaziz, Princess Fahda, and Princess Noura, this extraordinary environment represents their fundamental, baseline understanding of what normal life looks like. They have known nothing else since the day they were born. The gold is simply the color that fixtures come in. The marble is simply what floors are made from. The 1,000 rooms are simply the spaces through which they move from morning until night, each one more lavishly appointed than the finest suite in the world's most exclusive hotels. Yet, as magnificent as the Al Yamama Palace undoubtedly is, it represents only the beginning, only the starting point of the residential empire these 5 children have ready access to. Their father, Mohammed bin Salman, has assembled over the years a real estate portfolio that spans multiple continents and includes some of the most expensive and sought-after properties ever sold on the open market anywhere in the world. Consider for a moment the Château Louis XIV in Louveciennes, France, nestled in the picturesque rolling countryside just a short distance from the legendary Palace of Versailles, that monument to royal excess that once housed the Sun King himself. MBS acquired this extraordinary estate for approximately $300 to $320 million in 2015, and at the time of its purchase, this transaction made headlines in newspapers and financial publications around the entire world as one of the most expensive residential real estate deals in recorded history. But the price tag, as astronomical and mind-boggling as it sounds when you first hear it, barely even begins to convey the true magnificence of what those hundreds of millions of dollars actually secured for the buyer. Spanning 23 hectares of manicured grounds with 5,000 square meters of interior living space, the chateau was purpose-built in the modern era specifically to replicate, and indeed to surpass in every measurable way, the grandeur of classical French palace architecture from the height of the monarchy. This is not some crumbling historic estate requiring constant restoration and maintenance. It is a brand new creation designed with all the technological conveniences of the 21st century while capturing the aesthetic glory of centuries past. Visitors approaching the property along its sweeping driveway are greeted first by a gold-leafed fountain that establishes an immediate and unmistakable tone of opulence before anyone even sets foot through the grand front doors. Inside, the amenities read less like the features of an actual home where people live and more like the fantastical catalog of an impossible dream. There is an underwater meditation room completely encircled by an aquarium stocked with exotic koi and prehistoric-looking sturgeon, a tranquil space where one can sit in quiet contemplation while beautiful fish glide silently past the transparent walls in every direction, creating an environment unlike anything else on Earth. A wine cellar capable of housing 3,000 bottles stands ready for entertaining the international guests and dignitaries who might appreciate such sophisticated offerings during their visits. The chateau contains 2 separate ballrooms for hosting grand events and formal entertaining. A squash court serves the athletic pursuits of residents and guests alike. A full-service spa offers every conceivable relaxation, treatment, and therapeutic service. A private nightclub awaits those occasions when more festive celebrations are in order. The property includes multiple swimming pools, both indoor and outdoor. A professional-grade kitchen where the finest cuisine imaginable can be prepared on site by world-class chefs, a climate-controlled garage with space for 8 luxury vehicles, and a fortified safe room providing ultimate protection should any emergency circumstances ever demand such measures. And perhaps most remarkably of all, for a structure specifically designed and built to evoke the aesthetic grandeur of 18th century French royal architecture, the entire estate can be monitored and controlled remotely via smartphone, allowing seamless management of every system from lighting to climate control to comprehensive security, all from anywhere in the world. The French chateau, however magnificent and expensive it may be, represents only one property among many in the family's global portfolio. The Erga Palace in Riyadh serves specifically for hosting visiting dignitaries on official state occasions, requiring the most formal and impressive settings. A sprawling 74-acre vacation palace in Morocco comes complete with helipads for helicopter access and elaborate entertainment tents for hosting gatherings beneath the North African stars. The Marmara Palace in Marbella, Spain, is valued somewhere between $100 and $300 million, providing a European Mediterranean retreat. Villa Mirandole in France offers direct private beach access for seaside holidays away from public scrutiny. And a penthouse apartment at the exclusive 432 Park Avenue Tower in New York City provides a strategically positioned base in the very heart of the world's financial capital. This is the residential reality into which these 5 children have been born, a network of palaces and estates scattered across the entire globe, each one maintained in perpetual readiness by dedicated staff for the family's potential arrival at any moment, each one equipped with every amenity that money can buy, each one staffed with personnel who have been extensively trained to anticipate and fulfill every conceivable need or desire before it is even expressed. When these children travel from Riyadh to France to Spain to Morocco to New York, they are not visiting unfamiliar foreign destinations. They are simply transitioning between different iterations of what home means to them. And this is precisely where the numbers become truly, almost incomprehensibly staggering. The House of Saud commands an estimated collective net worth exceeding $1.4 trillion, a figure so enormous that it requires careful contemplation to even begin approaching understanding. This fortune derives primarily from Saudi Arabia's vast oil reserves managed through the state-owned Saudi Aramco, the world's most valuable company with a valuation hovering around $2 trillion and extends through diversified investments via the Public Investment Fund, which holds significant stakes in global entities like Uber, SoftBank, and Newcastle United Football Club. Mohammed bin Salman himself, born on August 31, 1985, as the eldest son of King Salman and his third wife, Fahda bint Falah Al Hithlain, commands a personal net worth estimated at approximately $25 billion, a fortune built through the blending of inherited wealth with strategic investments accumulated over the decades of his adult life and his meteoric rise to power within the kingdom. The 5 children stand as direct heirs to this almost mythical fortune, positioned to one day inherit wealth that would make them among the richest individuals on the planet in their own right. Their names, chosen with deliberate care to honor family lineage and embody the deepest values of Arabic and Islamic traditions, carry profound significance that extends far beyond mere identification. Prince Salman, the eldest son and potential future heir to the throne itself, bears a name meaning safe or protected, honoring his grandfather, the current king of Saudi Arabia. Prince Mashur's name implies fame or being well known, suggesting a destiny of prominence and public recognition. Prince Abdulaziz, the youngest son born in April 2021, carries a name meaning servant of the mighty, a direct and reverent tribute to King Abdulaziz, the legendary founder who unified the disparate territories of modern Saudi Arabia in 1932. Princess Fahda's name evokes the panther or leopard, powerful predatory cats symbolizing agility, grace, and strength. Princess Noura's name means light or illumination, representing guidance, enlightenment, and divine favor. These are children whose birthright includes not merely wealth, but the weight of an entire dynasty. Not simply privilege, but the expectation of carrying forward a legacy that has shaped the modern Middle East. Yachts, jets, and a $450 million masterpiece. When the children of Mohammed bin Salman need to travel from one of their palatial residences to another, they do not proceed to a commercial airport terminal and wait in lengthy security lines alongside ordinary passengers. They do not present boarding passes to gate agents or squeeze themselves into cramped economy seats beside strangers for hours-long flights. They do not endure the countless small indignities and discomforts that define air travel for the vast majority of human beings on this planet. Instead, they have ready access to a customized Boeing 747-400 that has been completely transformed from a standard commercial airliner into something that more closely resembles an airborne palace, a flying residence that maintains the family's standard of luxury even while cruising at 40,000 feet above the earth. The interior of this remarkable aircraft contains fully appointed private bedrooms where family members can sleep in genuine comfort during long intercontinental journeys, actual beds rather than reclining seats, with all the amenities one would expect in a 5-star hotel suite. Gold-plated bathrooms ensure that even the most utilitarian and functional spaces aboard the aircraft reflect the family's unwavering standard of luxury in every detail. Formal dining rooms allow for proper sit-down meals to be served at altitude, cuisine prepared by private chefs traveling aboard, and presented with the same attention to detail and service one might expect at a Michelin-starred restaurant firmly planted on solid ground. The food is not pre-packaged airline fare warmed in galley ovens. It is freshly prepared gourmet dining served on fine china with polished silverware. And because the security concerns facing the Saudi royal family are not theoretical possibilities but genuine, ongoing, and very real threats that must be taken with the utmost seriousness, the aircraft is equipped with sophisticated anti-missile defense systems, a stark and sobering reminder that this extraordinary wealth exists within a context of real geopolitical risk, that the same prominence and power that enables such luxury also attracts attention and enmity from various quarters around the world. But the customized 747 does not travel alone through the skies. Backup 747 aircraft, additional Airbus jets, and cargo freighters provide logistical support and redundancy for journeys that frequently involve traveling entourages exceeding 1,000 people in total. When the Saudi royal family travels, they travel as a small city unto themselves. Hundreds of staff members, extensive security details, details, communications personnel, equipment of all kinds, supplies sufficient for any contingency, all the infrastructure necessary to ensure that every conceivable need can be immediately met regardless of the destination or circumstances encountered upon arrival. For the children, then, air travel is not an experience of cramped discomfort, recycled cabin air, crying babies in nearby rows, or endless waiting in crowded terminals. It is instead a seamless extension of the luxury that defines every other aspect of their daily existence, a smooth and comfortable transition from one palatial environment to another that happens to occur tens of thousands of feet above the surface of the Earth. The airplane is not a means of transportation that must be endured. It is simply another living space that happens to move. Upon the water, the extravagance continues without any interruption or diminishment whatsoever. The Serene yacht, valued at approximately $500 million, stretches an impressive 134 meters in total length and ranks among the largest and most luxuriously appointed private vessels ever constructed for personal use in the entire history of maritime recreation. This is not merely a boat in any conventional sense of that word. It is a floating resort whose amenities and services would put many of the world's finest land-based luxury hotels utterly to shame. Helipads on the deck provide convenient access for helicopter arrivals and departures at any time, allowing family members to board the yacht directly from the air without the inconvenience of traveling to a marina, docking at a port, or interacting with any members of the public whatsoever. An indoor seawater swimming pool offers the pleasure of swimming in climate-controlled comfort, regardless of the weather conditions outside or the state of the seas. A full-service spa provides relaxation, massage, therapeutic treatments, and rejuvenation services while the vessel cruises through the Mediterranean Sea or the Red Sea or any other body of water the family wishes to explore. A snow room offers a jarring but utterly delightful contrast, an actual Arctic experience with real snow and frigid temperatures, available to anyone who wishes to escape the heat of the sun while surrounded by warm tropical or Mediterranean waters. A fully equipped cinema provides onboard entertainment for movie nights at sea. And perhaps most remarkably and impressively of all, a submarine hangar contains an actual personal submarine, allowing for underwater exploration of coral reefs, shipwrecks, and marine environments. Because when you possess this level of extraordinary wealth, even the depths of the ocean become accessible recreational destinations from the comfort of your private vessel. The Serene, magnificent as it is, does not represent the family's only maritime asset by any means. The Pegasus yacht, valued at approximately $200 million, features 24-karat gold-infused amenities throughout its lavishly appointed interior spaces. The Prince Abdulaziz yacht, used primarily for official duties and state functions, can comfortably accommodate 64 guests in its staterooms and suites, while also including a mosque for religious observances at sea, ensuring that faith obligations need never be interrupted by travel. The Al Said yacht adds yet another impressive vessel to this already remarkable floating fleet. For these children, the question of maritime travel is never whether they can access a yacht. It is simply a matter of deciding which yacht among the several available they might prefer for any particular voyage or occasion. On land, the vehicle collection achieves similarly breathtaking heights of extraordinary excess and automotive excellence. MBS personally owns a stable of hypercars that includes a $3 million Bugatti Chiron, a McLaren P1, a Ferrari LaFerrari, a Lamborghini Aventador, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, and a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, each vehicle representing the absolute pinnacle of automotive engineering, performance, and luxury in its respective category. Extended relatives within the broader royal family boast $22 million personal fleets that include gold-plated models, customized to reflect their owners' particular tastes and preferences. For the children growing up within this extraordinary environment of unlimited automotive abundance, a Lamborghini is not some exotic dream vehicle representing the ultimate pinnacle of automotive aspiration that might someday, with enough luck and success, become attainable. It is simply one option among many others, currently available in the family family's extensive garages, no more remarkable or special than any other car. Perhaps nothing captures the intersection of vast wealth and cultural aspiration quite as perfectly as the family's art collection, an assemblage of masterpieces that rivals the holdings of the world's great museums. In 2017, MBS purchased Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi for over $450 million, the highest price ever paid for any painting at auction in the entire history of the art market. This single transaction, this one purchase of one painting, exceeded the annual gross domestic product of some small nations around the world. It secured for the family one of the most important, most studied, and most celebrated artistic treasures in all of human history, a Renaissance masterpiece painted by the same incomparable genius who created the Mona Lisa, perhaps the most famous artwork ever made. But the Da Vinci masterpiece, precious and historically significant as it is, does not stand alone in isolation. Works by Pablo Picasso, Jeff Koons, Takashi Murakami, and other celebrated artists form a comprehensive collection that rivals major museums around the world in scope, historical significance, and financial value. These masterpieces are often displayed aboard yachts during voyages or mounted on the walls of the family's many palaces, transforming what are already extraordinarily luxurious private spaces into galleries housing artistic treasures that most people will only ever encounter in heavily guarded public institutions, if they are fortunate enough to encounter them at all in their lifetimes. For the 5 children of Mohammed bin Salman, this means growing up surrounded not merely by luxury and comfort, but by cultural artifacts of profound historical importance and artistic significance. The paintings hanging on the walls of their homes are not reproductions or prints purchased from museum gift shops. They are original works by some of the greatest artists who have ever lived, priceless masterpieces worth hundreds of millions of dollars apiece. Their aesthetic education and artistic sensibility develops not through occasional field trips to distant museums, but through the daily lived experience of walking past and living among works of art that scholars travel thousands of miles simply to glimpse behind velvet ropes. Family vacations, naturally, maintain these same extraordinary standards of luxury, privacy, and expense. $30 million trips to the Maldives are not merely expensive getaways. They involve reserving entire resort properties in their totality to ensure complete privacy and absolute security throughout the duration of the stay. Every overwater bungalow, every restaurant, every spa facility, every stretch of pristine, white sand beach becomes exclusively theirs for as long as they choose to remain, with no other guests present to intrude upon their seclusion or observe their activities. Exclusive 3-week holidays in South Korea provide premium access to cultural sites, entertainment venues, and experiences that ordinary tourists, regardless of how much they might be willing to pay, simply cannot reach or arrange. And for those occasions when more adventurous outdoor pursuits are desired, a 200-hectare game farm in South Africa's Limpopo province has been converted into an exclusive, private hunting resort, complete with its own dedicated airstrip for convenient arrivals and departures. Their jewelry collections are valued higher than many luxury homes in the world's most expensive real estate markets. Their world is one where the question is never, can we afford this particular thing, but simply, which of our many available options shall we choose today? Preparing heirs for a trillion-dollar legacy. For all the staggering, almost incomprehensible wealth that surrounds every aspect of their daily lives, for all the palaces spanning millions of square feet, and the super yachts equipped with submarines, and the private jets fitted with anti-missile systems, and the priceless Renaissance masterpieces hanging on bedroom walls, the children of Mohammed bin Salman are emphatically not being raised simply to spend money. They are not being groomed as idle heirs, whose only function will be to consume and display the family's vast resources. Instead, they are being prepared, deliberately and systematically, and with enormous care and investment, to one day assume positions of genuine power and responsibility within one of the world's most influential dynasties. The House of Saud, after all, has endured and maintained its grip on power since Mohammed bin Saud first founded the Emirate of Diriyah in the 18th century, building a legacy that has survived faced countless challenges, wars, rivalries, and transformations over the generations. The continuation of this dynasty into the future depends absolutely upon each successive generation being properly equipped, educated, and prepared to carry forward that weighty legacy with competence and vision. The children cannot simply be passengers enjoying the fruits of wealth they did not create. They must be prepared to one day take the wheel and steer the entire enterprise forward. Education for the children emphasizes elite preparation of the very highest caliber, with private tutors who rank among the most accomplished global experts in their respective fields of knowledge and expertise. These are not ordinary teachers following standardized curricula developed for mass education. These are the finest minds that money can attract from universities, think tanks, and institutions around the entire world. Individuals whose expertise spans everything from governance and statecraft and international diplomacy to economics and finance and business strategy to cultural studies and languages and the sciences. The teachers come to the students rather than the reverse, creating an educational environment customized entirely around the specific needs, interests, abilities, and future responsibilities of each child. Educational budgets for the children reportedly rival or even surpass the endowments of major universities, ensuring that absolutely no resource, no expert, no educational tool or opportunity is ever spared in the project of developing the next generation of Saudi leadership. Learning extends far beyond traditional classroom settings and academic instruction, however comprehensive that instruction might be. Experiential education forms a central component of the children's development, including archaeological expeditions to historically significant sites and visits to locations of cultural and historical importance, guided by world-renowned experts who can bring the lessons of the past vividly to life. The children learn not just from textbooks, lectures, and academic exercises, but from walking the very ground where history was made, from handling artifacts that other students only see in photographs, from encountering sites and locations that transform abstract historical concepts and dates into tangible, memorable, visceral reality. When they study ancient civilizations, they visit the archaeological remains. When they learn about art history, they stand before the original masterpieces. When they explore geography and culture, they travel to the places themselves. Prince Salman, the eldest son and most likely heir to eventual succession, is reportedly being groomed specifically for potential future leadership of the kingdom itself, positioned as a possible future king who will one day sit upon the throne his grandfather currently occupies. His education focuses with particular intensity on the specific skills and knowledge that will be required to one day perhaps assume the crown, the arts of statecraft and political strategy, the nuances of international diplomacy and foreign relations, the complexities of economic management and national development, and the delicate, difficult art of balancing tradition with modernization that has defined his father's transformative reign. This educational focus represents a potential continuation of the fundamental shift MBS has engineered in Saudi succession practices, moving away from traditional agnatic seniority, where the crown passed from brother to brother within a generation, toward a more direct father-to-son model of succession that mirrors European monarchies. But perhaps most remarkably of all, despite the almost incomprehensible privilege and luxury that surrounds these children at every moment, there are clear and compelling indications that MBS is deliberately, intentionally instilling values of discipline, accountability, and personal responsibility alongside the obvious advantages of their birth. One particularly illustrative story, shared through Saudi media channels, captures this educational philosophy with memorable clarity. Prince Salman, the eldest son, arrived late to school one day. Now, in most contexts involving the children of powerful political figures, presidents, prime ministers, monarchs, one might reasonably expect some form of special accommodation to be made. Doors held open past the official deadline. Rules bent or waived entirely in recognition of the family's status. Exceptions granted as a matter of of course, because surely the rules that apply to ordinary children cannot be expected to constrain the offspring of the nation's de facto ruler. But that is decidedly not what happened on this particular day at this particular school. The school denied Prince Salman entry, enforcing its tardy policy without any regard whatsoever for his father's position as the crown prince and de facto ruler of the entire kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The rules said students who arrived late would not be admitted, and so the crown prince's son was not admitted. Full stop. And what was MBS's response to this situation when he learned of it? He did not call in political favors to have the decision reversed. He did not demand that someone be fired for the perceived insult to his family's dignity. He did not insist that his son receive preferential treatment befitting his royal status. Instead, he commended the educational institution for upholding its rules, publicly praising this firm enforcement of accountability over the easier path of granting privilege. The message, conveyed to his son, and indeed to the entire nation observing this interaction, was clear and unmistakable. Rules apply equally to everyone, including and especially to the children of the crown prince himself. Status and family position do not exempt one from facing consequences for one's actions or failures. This anecdote, whether precisely accurate in every specific detail, or perhaps somewhat embellished in its various retellings, points towards something genuinely significant about the philosophy and approach guiding how these children are being raised. They may have ready access to billions upon billions of dollars and all the material goods and experiences that money can buy, but they are apparently not being taught that wealth exempts them from facing consequences for their choices. They inhabit palaces spanning millions of square feet with thousands of servants at their beck and call, but they are nevertheless expected to follow rules and meet expectations like anyone else. They will one day inherit unimaginable wealth and potentially wield enormous political power, but they must apparently earn respect through their own conduct and accomplishments, rather than simply demanding it as an automatic birthright. Broader educational reforms throughout Saudi Arabia, under MBS's leadership, are fundamentally reshaping how the kingdom approaches the instruction of its young people, shifting toward Western-influenced curricula and pedagogical approaches, while still maintaining important connections to cultural roots and Islamic values. It seems highly likely that the Crown Prince's own children experience some version of this same modernized educational approach, perhaps even serving as early adopters and test cases for innovations that will eventually spread throughout the kingdom's school system. They are being prepared not just for the world as it currently exists, but for a world that is changing rapidly and dramatically, one where Saudi Arabia seeks to fundamentally diversify its economy beyond dependence on oil revenues through ambitious long-term initiatives like Vision 2030, including transformative mega-projects like Enium, a $500 billion futuristic city being built from scratch in the desert, the Qiddiya entertainment hub that aims to become a global destination, and the Red Sea Project developing pristine coastline for luxury tourism. For the two daughters, Princess Fada and Princess Noura, the future likely involves different but equally significant opportunities and responsibilities. Available information about the princesses suggests an educational focus on cultural engagement and philanthropic roles, aligning with the rapidly evolving opportunities being created for Saudi women under the Vision 2030 reform agenda. The Saudi Arabia that these young women will inherit and help shape as adults will be a dramatically different nation from the one their grandparents and even their parents knew in their own youth. A nation where women can now legally drive vehicles, attend sporting events and stadiums, pursue careers in fields that were previously entirely closed to them, and participate in public life in ways that would have been unthinkable just a generation ago. If you enjoyed watching this video, then go ahead and click on any of the cards on your screen for more.